everybody. Welcome to Waifu Views, the podcast where you'll get all your fandom needs with a side. So I'm Ash. I'm also known as Ebony Moonbeam, and I'm here with lovely ladies.
I don't know if I'm frozen or not, but I am Charlotte Honey, like a jar of honey, only sweeter.
I love that. Aisha Morgan. Happy to be here.
So before we get into the great show that we have for you guys, we first want to thank you for choosing us to spend time with us today on the last fun day of before your work week. So please remember to like, subscribe, and share to all of our pages on the Blerd Cartel: Facebook, IG, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, TikTok, and Twitch. And you can also watch this show on Blerd Official on YouTube and also at blerd.com. After the show, we will also give you all our personal social outlets so you can follow us there. So now we have a couple of things to discuss, but I want to get straight into our anime of the week review, because I know we all have a few things to get off our chests about this show. The ladies and I chose the anime Uncle from Another World. It is a Netflix original, and it has 13 episodes and a runtime of 25 minutes. So to give you guys a quick synopsis, the show follows Takafumi taking care of his uncle who just woke up from a 17-year-old coma, where he claims that he spent this time in another world. Now, that sounds like a really interesting concept, but I think the ladies have a couple of things to tell you about this anime.
Shar, would you like to kick us off?
Sure. So starting off, I'll start off with my pros, okay? It was funny. There was a good amount of comedy in it. There was an okay amount of folklore, like action kind of thing going on. Overall, I would say it was a good, kind of well-rounded anime, but it was a little slow on the everything. Like, it was just kind of hard to get through. I fell asleep a few times. I woke up, missed a couple of episodes, and I still knew what was going on. That's my only real gripe with it. Other than that, though, I thought that the premise and the story was really good. Just the concept of it. I love his addiction to Sega Genesis, because I too have an addiction to all things that is that's what I started with, really. So that's my go-to. So I did appreciate that little tidbit. But overall I enjoyed it. I can say I really did not. I mean, I'm hoping if there's a season 2 or anything, but the ending kind of left me wanting something more a little bit. But other than that, it had its pros and cons. But overall, I liked it enough.
Oh, okay. So I'm glad you liked it enough. It was hard for me to get into, like you said. It's a slow burn start, and like you said, the folklore is cool. Calling him an orc the whole thing, that was just wait, what? Yeah. I was where does this come from? That's the part that confused me. And
it was giving racism, but I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's what it was really giving. But
I know he means well. It seems like he is as dense as all can be. I don't know it, because he seems oblivious to the stuff he does. That's what kills me. I'm it's so obvious, but you can't see it. Other than that, I may have fallen asleep a little bit. I did try and push through. Like Shar said, I did laugh some, but it was a little all over the place for me.
So my feeling on it, I agree with all of the points that you ladies made. I love the Sega Genesis part as someone, especially me. I'm a little bit older than a lot of the people in some of these groups, and I guess I give away younger, but kudos to me. But I, but I grew up with an older brother that had Sega Genesis. It was the first console that I ever played on. And so I loved the nostalgia aspect of it. I feel like every nerd all over the place, especially if you're a gamer or you've ever read manga, you can kind of see yourself in the uncle's character. I love the fact that it's a reverse isekai. You don't really see that a lot often. And I appreciated the fact that even though they gave us these little hints of a potential harem, they never fully gave us that. And I appreciated that because it's one of the things that I actually dislike about isekai, because it's just always there up in your face. I thought it had a reasonable amount of fan service, nothing to make me run away from. So I appreciated that. I really liked the intro song. I thought it was really cool. The song and the visuals. It also, I was offended by how old they made him look, though, because him and I are supposed to be the same age, damn near. Right? And I really felt a certain type of way, but they do kind of touch on that in one of their flashbacks. It's cool. I do think it's cool that they gave us a show where he's in the real world now, but he's able to show you kind of like flashbacks of what happened. So that's more of the main part of the show, but you still get what's going on now. And as a character, when you think about it, like he went into a coma at 17 and now he's just now waking up and he's a middle-aged man and he has to live in a world that is completely changed. Like, I think I would lose my mind if I went to sleep at 17 when Facebook had just started and you had to be in college. So I started with MySpace, waking up and then having TikTok and seeing TikTok. I would lose my mind. And the nostalgia with the cell phone and all that stuff. It was really cool. It was definitely also an interesting art style. I wasn't sure if I liked it. The vibe kind of gave me kind of like a Disastrous Life of Psycho Kike and also Mob Psycho when it came to the animation and also having somewhat aloof or deadpan characters. But unfortunately, it just missed the mark. And I kept trying to figure out what it was that it was lacking. I couldn't forever. And that's something that really bothered me. At the end, you can tell that there's going to be another season. I hope they do a better job with that because it definitely missed the mark. You guys said y'all fell asleep. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to be as honest as possible. A couple of these episodes, I was high as a kite. I was high as a kite. And which usually is great for, isekai and stuff, something a little light and fun to make you laugh. And I don't think the most I kind of did was, that's funny. And that was about it. Every time I laughed, instead of just really enjoying it and just being like, this is an insane anime, but I love it for its chaos. So if you guys want to watch it, I would what would you rank it out of 10, guys?
For me, I would give it a 6.
Ooh.
What
it
about
wasn't
you, Charles?
trash, but yeah.
I'd give it like a 5.7.
Yeah.
Like a 5.7, yeah.
I just saw something. Shout out to Otis because I got it from him. He said that anything below a 7, like 7 is mid. Or no, like anything below a 7 is trash. Like 6 or lower is garbage. And I would say that I would give it a 6-ish just because I feel like it has potential. I feel like the second season will be a lot better than the first one. But yeah, guys, don't go watch this when you're tired. Don't. You're gonna be asleep. I'm sorry. But it may work for some people. It may work for some people. It just doesn't work for me. But so check it out. It's on Netflix. Like I said, it's 13 episodes and it is 25 minutes. So what do you got to lose? Check it out. But next up, we have an especially sensitive topic. I know for me, but I feel like for the ladies as well. And that is gatekeeping in the community. And when I say gatekeeping, I mean nerddom as a whole. Cosplaying, anime, manga, gaming, DC versus Marvel, all of that. So we're going to get into that. I want to see what kind of experiences you guys particularly have had with gatekeeping, and how you kind of maneuver around that.
So my experience with gatekeeping has been more so in gaming. I'm a first person shooter type of girl. I started on Call of Duty, like that was my thing. And I ran with squads. I was cool, but running solo, especially if you have a mic, the safest route to go is not have a mic, because if they know you're a female, you get left for dead, you get left hanging, people expose you, or you get every name in the book called to you but your given name or your gamer tag. Oh, girls can't play, you're trash, you're camping, you name it, I've heard it. And sometimes it gets too much. Like, okay, chill. I know at one point before we became a more sensitive society with what we say on the mic, I used to be reckless with my mouth because people were already vicious towards me.
Right.
So you'll hear suck my and everything else, especially if I get the kill. You know, you pretend to teabag somebody. I was that person. Like, you can't just bully me. I'm tired of y'all stuff. Like, oh, I'm down over here. I need help getting up. It's a girl. Go. Where's your boyfriend? Go back to where you came from. I was like, what? How does that even correlate to what we're playing? So the rudeness when people know you're a female is ridiculous and uncalled for.
Right. I agree. What about you, Shar?
I think in general, like, experiencing gatekeeping would probably be in like the cosplay community. It's not necessarily like you know, always people who look like you when it's cosplay, but it's like you can be, you know, gatekeeping happens across the board. If you're the wrong color, if you're the wrong size, if you're wrong, like, it could be a lot of things, right? And so I think I've experienced that in a lesser amount, I think, than like people I know have experienced, but I've experienced it nonetheless, you know what I mean? Especially if you like cosplay a character that isn't your skin tone and stuff like that. In gaming, I've experienced it also, but in the same way, like Aisha said, like, guys are kind of like, you know, hard in that area. Yeah. So it's like, you can't be like, if you're better than them or anything like that. It's a very like touchy, annoying kind of thing to experience. But I mean, in those two areas, I think it's very, very prevalent in the nerd community. And just like in general of nerdom, like, even if you're a comic fan, if you say you're a comic fan and like, I think I'm glitching again, but like, they'll ask you so many questions about something maybe they don't even know of, or even anime, and saying like, hey, I watch anime, and then it's like, well, do you watch like Dragon Ball Z? And it's like, I don't watch that kind maybe, but I do watch anime, you know? So I could understand like that part and the gatekeeping that happens with those.
Yeah,
you're not part of the community if you don't watch what they deem you should watch.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
I actually just had my first quizzing type experience. I've been lucky enough to not have to deal with that much. But it was crazy. I was headed to a meeting and I stopped to grab something out of my bag, and I had an Akatsuki cloud bag. And this guy like ran up to me, stopped his community service, because that's what he was doing. Ran up to me, yes, girl. Ran up to me and was like, "Oh my gosh!" He was like, "Is that what I think it is? Who's your favorite character?" And I was like, And so I told him, I was like, I just threw out somebody. I don't even remember who I threw out, because I have that's just, I like Naruto, but it's not like my end all be all. And then he's like, guess my character. And I'm like, first off, why do you think I want to sit here and play this game with you, sir? And then he's like, well, I'll give you a hint. And then he's giving me all these hints and stuff. And then finally I couldn't guess it. I knew who he was talking about, but I didn't remember the name. And then he finally said it, and I was like, God, I knew that. And he was like, how can you say you're a fan and walking around with this? And I said, do you know how long ago it was that I watched Naruto? First and foremost. Secondly, do you know how much anime I've watched since then? Secondly, third, do you remember every single character from every single anime you've ever watched? My anime list page is saying that I've completed 231 anime. And that's just what I've tagged in there. So I'm like, you think I remember everything? But I digress with that part because that'll get me on a whole nother tangent. But cosplaying is a huge one for me because I'm newer in it and I'm not a size 6 and I'm Black on top of that. So I just recently, maybe like a week or two ago, had this crazy experience where I posted a TikTok video and my cosplay, and it was a raven, which when you go to my page you can see it. I'm literally in just the typical raven costume, but I have like garter belts on and stuff, and people were in there saying it was cringy, that I was too old to be cosplaying, that I'm making young characters sexualized. Like it for literally an hour I had to stop what I was doing at work to manage it so it didn't turn into something else.
A snowball of hate.
Yes, and that's what it was for a while. But then also with the trolling on social media and stuff, it's funny because they don't realize that they're helping you with the algorithm. Even every time you post something hateful in here, you're making my content look more interesting. So thank you for the 5,000 likes that I got just from that video because y'all were talking all that mess and stuff. So it is what it is, but it's really unfortunate. Just like I said, being Black, being bigger, being older. But one of the main gatekeeping that I feel like everybody deals with, and some people, I'm not even going to say that I am a perpetrator of it, but a lot of us that hate gatekeeping are perpetrators, and it is the sub versus dub watchers conversation. The gatekeep on that is insane. Like, why can't we just watch what we like to watch with how we want to watch it without all the stress? You sit there and you repost something and it's in the English dub and they're like, nope. I'm like, dang fam, like I do multitask every now and again. Like I watch sub too, golly.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little bit guilty of that before.
See?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit. We're all guilty of something here or there, because I'll be quick to check somebody when their facts are wrong. I went back and forth with somebody on something from Demon Slayer the other day, and I was like, I may or may not be gatekeeping because I read this part of the manga. But with overall, just like you said, overall the community is just it's a tad bit toxic. We see it especially in the Blerd groups, we see it a lot. But with toxicity, I want to use that as a segue to talk about the toxicity in Hollywood. Because none of us are new to whitewashing in Hollywood. And if you don't know, whitewashing is when you alter an original story by casting a white or ethnically inaccurate performer in a role based on a non-white person or fictional character. And we're segueing into this specifically because of the Lilo and Stitch casting, but we're going to talk a little bit about whitewashing as a whole in anime. How do you guys feel currently about the way the way Hollywood is still whitewashing in 2023?
It's unfortunate, but they're going to keep doing it as long as they get away with it. Because people are still going to watch, even whitewashed and all. Mm-hmm. Some of us can complain. You'll see like backlash on the internet. It doesn't always work, and they still go through with it. I mean, that's been an issue in Hollywood movies for decades.
Mm-hmm.
What, Cleopatra?
Oh, Cleopatra is probably the most well-known one, and actually is being brought back up again because I saw that Cleopatra, was it Hulu or somebody is doing a Cleopatra, and she's clearly of African descent. She looks
Right.
very much like a black woman, and there's always been a conversation on if Cleopatra was black or not black. I'm not going to get into the politics of that because we don't want the comments going crazy, and we don't want to be shadow banned or anything crazy like that. But
Definitely want that.
that is something that is still just them posting that ad. I saw nonstop comments either defending the casting or throwing away the casting because, in a lot of people's mind, Cleopatra looks like Elizabeth Taylor.
That part. What was the one movie? What was it? Gods of Egypt?
With
Gods of
Gerard
Egypt.
Butler. Mm-hmm. Where the only Egyptian looking person was Chadwick.
Right.
And that's just because he's black and African. So, like,
Yeah. So I mean, for people who enjoy entertainment in general, like if you're gonna have that, oh, it's okay, it's Hollywood. I need you to have that. Oh, it's okay with the cosplaying.
oh, definitely. There's definitely a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to what people are willing to accept. This conversation could even tie into the Little Mermaid cast and how there was so much backlash of like basically the opposite of whitewashing by putting a black character as the Little Mermaid, and we're like, but she's a fictional mermaid. This is not based on a real people with real cultural struggles and societal issues or traditions, anything like that. And that's what's happening with Lilo and Stitch.
Right.
When it comes to Lilo and Stitch, well, Disney is good at this. Disney is really good at doing stuff like this. When I look at a list of some of the movies that I've seen, Disney has whitewashed a lot. How do we feel about Nani's character?
I mean, it's never gonna be exact,
but
it's not like I'm gonna throw a whole fit over it. Would I prefer somebody who looked more like Nani? Yes. Even though I'm not of that culture, but it would be nice to see. But representation doesn't always go to what they're representing.
I wanted to see thick thighs. I probably could have gave a pass on the skin tone if I felt like she looked like the character as a whole. Unless this girl is about to go gain 15 pounds in her thighs or something, like you're not doing it for me. I'm sorry. Like, how many people's crushes are you breaking right now? Like, you're hurting people's feelings because they straight up crushed on her.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
she needs to be at least thicker. Yep.
She needs to be like at least thick. Like if they had one or the other, they don't have either one. Like it's like she's not thick. She's not visually she doesn't look like her. It's kind of like it's a little bit of a letdown only because like I feel like we have so few, not like we, but like just people in general have so few people to look up to themselves as far as people of color. Why go towards the side that already has a lot of representation? Why not get someone who looks more visually like the character? Because it has to do with being like, I understand she's from Hawaii and everything, but like there's darker Hawaiians that they could have like went with.
I really think that the Hobbs and Shaw movie, if you didn't know that there were darker skinned Hawaiians out there, Hobbs and Shaw does it perfectly well because he, like Dwayne Johnson has his whole family help him out and stuff. It's like nothing but them. Like, come on. It for me, it's I feel like it's still a lack of respect. It's still a colorism issue. It's still it's almost too political. And it doesn't even need to be. It's just make the characters what they're supposed to be, and let's move on. They better not do Stitch like they did Sonic. See, that's a good point. I'm glad that he said that. When it comes to the Sonic thing, our fandoms give so much because I can't think of the word, when we don't like something, when we feel like something isn't right. We basically bullied those people to change the way Sonic looked when that movie came out. This is a fictional character, like he's a blue furry character. Why do we not put in as much effort when it comes to our own cultures? I think that's a question to pose to all the viewers at home. That's the $1 million question. These need to, because just like you said, you made a great point. As long as they're going to keep making it, as long as we keep watching it. So until we sit there and say, we're not going to go see this because this isn't accurate, or this is offensive, or this is just a slap in the face, because I know a bunch of actors out here that look just like me that can do this.
They said Stitch.
They're just going to keep doing it.
It makes me wonder how they did casting.
Like what they required.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like where, how was it put out? Were people of that culture notified, like who actually can act? Like, did they know about it, or was it just like a small circle type thing?
Well, I thought the little girl looked a lot like Lilo. I thought she was really cute and she works. The character was at Bubbles, the agent, because I haven't watched Lilo and Stitch in forever.
Yeah.
I thought that I saw somewhere that they had changed the character, the person that was playing it, to a woman. So is that a new? I wonder if that's a new update, because it was a woman.
Yeah, that was early reports, but so I guess they're introducing her now as just a whole new character, and then they're adding Courtney B. Vance as Bubbles. Although I feel like, what's his name, Dean Brains, wasn't he the voice actor? I feel like he should be Bubbles, because he even looks like Bubbles. But yeah, they just added Courtney B.
So with that, I just want to list a couple of examples before I get into him, because we are definitely going to talk about the casting of him in a moment. I just wanted to list some of the major things that kind of stood out when it came to whitewashing. So I know it was a big thing in 2016 with Doctor Strange, where Tilda Swinton played the Ancient One, which was obviously of Asian descent. 2013's Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp. We already know he was supposed to be Native American, and that's why that movie flopped. And guess who produced that? Disney. Aloha with Emma Stone. Her character was supposed to be Hawaiian and Chinese. Just like you said, Gods of Egypt, Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal. Ghost in the Shell's a big one. People did not like that Scarlett Johansson got that role. I don't remember how well that movie did, but the one when I was researching this that really stood out and shocked me that I didn't know was the 2008 movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie, that her character was actually Black in the comics. And not only was she Black, but that character in the comics was inspired by Halle Berry, a Black woman that is still very much in Hollywood.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna hope, and this is a real like long shot benefit of the doubt, that these actors were offered the like role and just were like, I'm either already busy or I'm not interested. But again, long shot like benefit of the doubt for that.
I don't know. Just to further that, with the whitewashing, it's not always just choosing a white character to play like a Black character or someone of different ethnicity, it's also the colorism aspect of things. While I was speaking about Halle Berry, it reminded me of the controversy that we had when she was cast as Storm in the X-Men films. And there was a huge issue with that because anyone that reads the comics and grew up on the 90s television show and stuff like that, she has always been of darker complexion. And so to see her in what was considered a pretty light-skinned woman, and that was kind of Halle Berry's niche around that time, it upset a lot of fans. And I remember when the reboot for X-Men came out, with First Class and everything, where we got Apocalypse and we got a younger Storm, everyone was hoping to get a darker Storm. And then we got another Storm that was the same complexion as Halle Berry. I think that that is a constant thing, that when we had Chadwick, rest in peace, when we had him in the Black Panther films, everybody was hoping that we would get a new Storm because of their connection, and it would showcase her original roots and her original look and style. So hopefully we can still get that, but now that Black Panther is obviously moving on to different branches when it comes to their story, we may not see it, but it would have been nice to see, because I'm a brown skinned girl. I like to see people that look like me too. You know, don't let this bright light fool you. I'm chocolate, okay? I'm chocolate. But getting back to Lilo and Stitch in particular, the what is his name again? I didn't forget his name. What's the male character's name? Y'all remember? No, just the character's name.
What, David?
My place.
David,
thank you.
Kahia Machado. Oh.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that. I don't even want to butcher it.
So basically, the guy on the right was originally cast, and due to some controversy, guy on the left took his place, and he has now been recast. Now, the story that I read briefly was that it had to do with, once they vetted him, they found some racist remarks somewhere on one of his social media platforms, and that's why he was replaced. I think that is great. Honestly,
that Disney was on top of it.
That Disney was on top of that, and but why couldn't DC do that with Ezra?
Ooh.
Because I'm seeing a lot of the Jonathan Majors stuff, and I'm like, am I supposed to be mad, or am I not supposed to be mad? Because I'm kind of mad, because it looks like he's about to get blackballed, and then we have other people, and I appreciate Disney doing what they need to do. They've shown us in the past, they cut Johnny Depp during the Heard trial, that they've shown that they will stand up for what they feel like is right and injustice, and saying no to racism and domestic violence and all of those things, and that's great. Why do we think that that's not just a thing overall in Hollywood?
It's not a big enough story to like get fans or people riled up, I feel like they can sweep it under the rug and keep it moving, because we don't always hear about Disney making the right choice. This guy happened to have, and like they say, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. Clearly, he had to pay the price. He used words he shouldn't have used, and you may feel sorry now, but again, that's going to live on forever.
Correct.
So you have to pay the consequences on that. Johnny Depp, I'm glad he won his case or whatever, just how that, let the chips fall where they may.
Mm-hmm.
That may have been a little premature, but it was bad press dealing with domestic violence.
True.
I pray that Majors isn't involved in all this, and it's more so, like you said, an attempt to like blackball him. But again, bad press, domestic violence.
Mhm.
So if the story's big enough, they'll hop on it because that's where the money is. Like, if we have an issue with it, enough of us have an issue with it, then Disney's gonna have an issue with it.
Right. So, so it says that they found on his Spotify account that it mentioned racial slurs, and I saw the screenshot. I'm not gonna obviously repeat it, but it involved the N word, and as the title for one of his playlists. Do
Very
we feel
derogatory.
like? So this guy is young. He's very young. Do we feel like actors and actresses should be held accountable to this degree for things that they did in the past, especially something like this where he's younger, or even someone that's older that did something? You know, they go back and find tweets from celebrities from 2012 and like in 2023 the world is different now. And whether we want to admit it or not, some things weren't considered a bad thing per se to as many people as it is now.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with you on that one.
I think because he is so young, it and the way that they did it is best because he's had so little time to necessarily grow. And seeing as this is a movie that is already receiving backlash on like colorism, him talking about people of darker skin tone would have been an extremely bad look on top of what all the controversy that's already happening with it. So I think it was a smart move in this circumstance because it kind of like it would have caused problems, I think, through the whole production, and you know, money talks. And so I think that it was a good move for them to replace him. As far as like, as far as it happening, like throughout Hollywood, I think it definitely is a pick and choose kind of thing. Sometimes, like they pick and choose who, okay, we'll accept them for this, or they were young or whatever, but not everyone gets that same grace. And I feel like that happens in the real world as well. So it's kind of like Hollywood is no different in that aspect.
Right. True.
So are we looking forward to the Lilo and Stitch? I personally dislike live action remakes of my favorite Disney movies. Beehive, please don't kill me. But Beyonce did not need to be Nala. She did not need to be Nala.
They didn't need to do it, period.
Period. Like when I enjoyed it. I wasn't a huge fan of original songs, but for the most part, they kept the whole story, kept the whole track. Same way, they only tweaked a handful of things. I can honestly say I would have walked out of the theater if it wasn't for the fact that I had went to that movie with my dad. But I kept leaning over and was like, I'm so freaking pissed. I'm so freaking pissed because my favorite song is Be Prepared by Star. And I felt a certain type of way. I was like, where is it? Where is it? And
wait, they didn't even do it?
I think they ended up doing a small... No, they didn't do it at all. Yeah, that's what it was. They didn't do it at all.
I don't think they did it at all.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't watch it. I couldn't get into it.
I mean, I did fall asleep. I did fall asleep during I fell asleep when Beyonce was talking, and then I woke up to her singing, and 5 minutes later I fell back asleep for a little bit. But
and I'm doing this all while working on getting my tickets. to see her in concert, but golly.
No, in concert, yes, but in the movie, no.
They could have kept that. And so because they continuously do that and they change things around, I don't know how it would be with Lilo and Stitch because that was past my kid era or whatever of movies. So I could probably say I watched Lilo and Stitch once, maybe twice. growing up. So it doesn't really matter to me. That's probably a movie that I'm just gonna hope ends up on HBO Max or something, and then I just watch it. But but are you guys gonna watch it? Are you interested to see it? Is it a no for you unless you get a thick nani? Like, what is it?
I won't be seeing it in theaters now. If it's a Disney Plus thing, I might check it out.
Oh, I'm here for Disney Plus.
But
Same.
yeah, actually,
Same.
like in the theaters, no.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
I feel the same. Yeah. I'll wait for it
Mm-mm.
to hit Disney Plus.
We feel you, Lala. Definitely a no.
So before we wrap up, because we're actually through with our main topics, but I just watched the last episode of Demon Slayer, and I just want to talk about how great. I was really worried about this season of anime. It started off really slow to me, but Hell's Paradise, which I saw last week, was like number 3 anime of the week, and it only went down because was it Demon Slayer that came back? It was something that took its place. But have you guys checked out Hell's Paradise? No, it was number 1. It was number 1. Have you guys checked it out yet?
I missed what
Unfortunately,
you said.
I have not.
Say that
You said
again.
Hell's Paradise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I started it. Yeah.
What do you think about it so far?
I like it so far. I really like it.
I like it. You can definitely tell that Mappa is trying to go in a similar direction as with this as Chainsaw Man, but I feel like it's going to be better.
Ooh.
Just based off of what I'm seeing, I feel like if it even just keeps up the pace with the first 3 episodes, then we're going to get a better anime out of this than Chainsaw Man, and that says a lot. Also on the list was Demon Slayer at number 5. Konosuba's back at number 8. Is there any anime that you're really excited for this year that hasn't come back yet? Or that hasn't started yet?
Hell's Paradise is good.
That hasn't started yet.
Mhm.
Not yet. Hell's Paradise is what I'm on right now. I also have my Home Hero I've been watching. I like that so far.
What platform is that on? Where can you find that at?
Ooh, Fire Force is a good
Yes,
one.
yes.
I think
Definitely.
it's on. Oh, it's on.
Yes, I am really excited about Fire Force. Obviously, I'm excited for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, that's good. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I can't wait for Fire Force because I know what's coming and I'm ready. Attack on Titan gave me their little teaser. They play with my top low key, but I'm gonna let them be great because I'm a ride or die. But they could have gave me a little bit more than that.
Ooh.
And I keep hearing about Solo Leveling, but I haven't read the manga. But I hear it's supposed to be really good. So that may be the manga that I'm gonna get into next. Because I try and bounce around, but when I get to a part where I feel like looks like it's going to be really good, then I stop because I want to see it animated first, so I don't spoil it for myself. So I'm a really like wishy-washy manga reader.
Yeah, I feel it.
I have to find the time to get started.
Yeah, like just sitting still in that amount of time, I could have been watching an anime and getting it out of the way. Because right now I'm on One Piece.
Good luck with that one. Oh, she got the shirt.
Hey, gang. So I'm gonna be honest. I was a little shit talker when it came to One Piece. Not in the way where I was like it was trash or anything, because I don't speak on things that I don't know about. But I used to just mess with people. People would be like, One Piece. I'm like, ain't nobody starting that mess. And blah 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 blah. And then I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna start it. I swear to you, for those first 12 episodes or so, I was on them episodes for like 5 months. I just had to keep restarting them because I would stop and then I would come back like a week later and I wouldn't remember what happened, and so I got to rewatch it again and stuff. And that was worse. And I Googled, when is it supposed to get good? And the internet as well as the people in the fandom were like around 380. 380? 300 before it gets decent? Like before it picks up
with the fans.
let me, your girl right here is I tell me. Which I made it there because I've been binge watching it like a crazy. I think I 100 episodes in a month and a half or something like that. It was crazy, but now I'm in a good place. But I'm trying to catch up to y'all. But the pacing, like, why is the pacing like that? I love the show. I even enjoy the fillers, but why is the pacing like that?
It's a love-hate relationship.
Inquiring minds want to know.
It's a love-hate relationship. That's all I can give you.
I feel that though, but I can say that when you watch other things now, unless it's really really good, Luffy gonna be shifting gears like a damn supercar after the end.
Facts though.
One thing I can say is now I truly appreciate what everybody likes about it, because now I guess I'm finally like at that point where I see what everyone likes, and when I'm watching other things, unless it's me just watching a new episode of like whatever is currently out this season, watching other things, I'm like, no, I gotta watch One Piece. No, I gotta watch One Piece. If I stopped watching Uncle from Another World and was like, nah, like this, I can't do this right now. And then I switched to One Piece. And then last night I still had one more episode that was dragging on for like 2 days. I was like, I'm gonna watch this last episode. Y'all, no lie, I watched it this morning. I'm 60 episodes in on One Piece, and this man on episode 4 of Great. Oh, I know what she's talking about.
Yeah, that was their deal.
That is so funny. She made a deal with her boyfriend that she'll watch One Piece if he watches Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. And I told her that she was going to get tired of One Piece way before he got tired of Grey's Anatomy, because it takes so long to get into the fun stuff, the real fun stuff.
But once you're locked in, oh
yeah, once you're locked in, it's over. Really, Oda is the smartest mangaka on the face of this planet. And let me tell you why. This man is Apple. That's what he is. He's Apple. He gets you with one device, he gets you with one thing, and then you're invested. Nobody is going to stop it, not finishing One Piece after 757 episodes.
Seriously though.
Who gonna do that? Not Ashley. No, ma'am. No, we're just gonna chug along. So I feel it. I can just feel it now. I'm gonna be in, and he don't ever have to write anything else in the world building, and that he can literally just throw anything in there and make it work. It's insane how he's created this world that he has total control over. It would not surprise me if I'm 50 years old talking about One Piece.
I would be.
One Piece is still going on. And they'll be like, you watch One Piece? Yes. I remember a time when I was in my 30s.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. But guys, that's all we really got for you guys today. We're going to continue to do this on Sundays at the same time. So we hope that you enjoyed the show today. And we hope that you will come back to hang out with your future favorite waifus. So everybody, share who you are again and where they can find you.
Let's go me. I am a Shar of Honey, like a jar of honey, only sweeter. You can find me at a Shar of Honey on all platforms: Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz.
Ooh, all right. I am Aisha Morgan on Facebook. As far as Instagram, TikTok, everything else, it should be educated_angel.
And I am Ashley, also known as Ebony Moonbeam. And you can find me on just about every platform as well as Ebony Moonbeam or just Ebony Moonbeam. And you can find my Facebook like page. You can find me on Twitch and TikTok. Go follow my TikTok and like my videos, y'all. I'm trying to be a cool cosplayer. Also, yeah, I think that's it. And also, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share and follow the Blerd Cartel on all major streaming platforms. That's Facebook, IG, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, TikTok, and Twitch. And you can find them on YouTube at Blerd Official, or you can watch this podcast as well as all the other podcasts on Blerd Cartel at blerd.com. So thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.